Hey everyone, and welcome to our monthly journaling hangout as part of the monthly journaling club. Welcome. I'm so glad you are here and joining us this evening. At least it is evening where I am here in Pennsylvania in the United States, but I'd love to know where you all are tuning in from and what time it is where you are. I know some of you are joining us live, and some of you may be watching the recording of the live stream afterwards. Regardless of how you are joining us, I am so grateful that you are choosing to document your lives alongside the monthly journaling club. So go ahead and leave a comment in the chat or in the comment section of this video and say hello. And as I said, share where you're tuning in from, and also if you're enjoying something delicious to drink, if you want to share an update, you can go ahead and put that in the chat. I'll just say hi to some of those who are commenting thus far. We've got Angela with us, Gina, Donna. We've got Kaylee, Doris, Crystal, Sarah. Great to see you all. Hi, Bree and Leslie. And we got multiple states represented so far. I don't yet see any other countries, I don't think, but I know they always are here as well. All right, so my name is Kelsey Lee, if you are completely new. And basically what we do here is we document our lives 1 month at a time. You are currently looking at February from 2025, which we created last month together. And this is the finished entry. But we've been doing this now for quite a while. So you can see I also have January for this year. And then we also have in the same notebook all of last year, month by month as well. If you want to check out these pages, I do have an entire flip through in depth of these, so you can go and watch that to learn a little bit more about everything that I talk about in my entries typically. And today we are going to be documenting March. So I am going to flip over to a brand new spread. The notebook that I use is a Dingbat B5, so it is a little bit bigger than your standard notebook. And that's because I personally like to make sure I have tons of space for everything that I want to document. And you can see that I actually, in the fold here, have been collecting some materials that I think I might want to use for this month. And that is a great tip for those of you who are doing this practice, is just to collect things as the month goes by, and you can stick it right into your journal or into a bin to hold and use later when you're ready to finally sit down and journal. I also went ahead and printed out all of my photos I'm going to be using for this entry. Again, I make a collage so that I can have tiny little photos printed out, in this case on a 4x6, of everything that I had photographed from this month that I would want to document. And I have lots of printables printed out as well, which I'll talk about in a moment. So I'm going to put this stuff to the side, and every single month, the first thing I typically do is put the title of the month on the page just to get something down. And I have been using these titles that go in the corners that are available on my Patreon. So I'm going to continue doing so by cutting out March. And this is the month's printable sticker collection that you can download and print out when you become a patron. Hi Janie, hi Susie. Welcome, welcome. So even though March always feels like a month that is so full and has so much going on, at least for me, and with 31 days, in some ways it feels like it goes on for a while. But I definitely felt for me that March just flew by in a bit of a blur. I feel like it just went right from winter to spring, and yeah, it's like March almost didn't even exist, even though obviously it did. Every day happened, and every day had 24 hours. There was no time warp, but it certainly felt that way. Hi, Annabella from Argentina. So there's another country represented. So I'm going to stick this up in the corner as I've been doing every single month. Though maybe what I will do this month is wait a moment, because one thing I've noticed with the corners is while I do like the design of them, and I think it's a just fun, different way to do it, because I had been always putting the titles right in the middle, and this just allows me more room to play without being hampered by where the title is located. I do find though that the corner is always a little awkward then of like how I want to decorate the corner, because I do fill up my pages totally, as you can see, because I personally really like that maximalist look for this type of entry. But I struggle with what to do in the corner typically. So what I'm thinking is maybe what I would want to do is actually do like a pattern or maybe some washi tape underneath. I have some really beautiful new washi tapes that I'm going to have a video to share them with you, because I got them all here from the washi tape shop. And oh my goodness, friends, here's just one just to show you. These washi tapes are so gorgeous. So I could definitely see that being potentially an option for how to occupy this corner. So I'm actually not gonna put it down yet, but I do have here so many other printables. So if you've been with us, then you know that this year we are focused on making this a year to remember. And the way we're doing that is by making each month a month to remember. And we are creating a bucket list, if you will, every single month of activities that we want to try and do and accomplish in that month. So here is my March bucket list printed out on sticker paper. And basically, you can see I went and checked off all the things I did this month, and I'm quite proud of myself because I have a solid 8 out of 10 score on this bucket list. I'd love to know what your score was for this month if you were participating. The only two that I did not do is I did not get to visit a museum or a monument in March, and I did not go thrifting. Though I did do it at the very, very end of February, so I feel like I almost did in March, but that's okay. So 8 out of 10, we're gonna call that a pretty solid. And if you actually wanna see me check a ton of these off and get a feel for what it's like for me to go through a day of actually doing activities from my bucket list, my most recent vlog actually is a day basically of checking off my March bucket list. So I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, to go ahead and watch that. I love sharing vlog style content with you all and bringing you into a peek into my life and my day. And that was a really fun one. And I'd love for you to go back and watch it if you haven't. And you can see I have February here as well. Obviously I used some of them last month, but I wanted to potentially use this for this month as well, because I did try a new soup recipe, and so I'm going to want to use this pretty little illustration for that. And somewhere here I have April. So this is now available over on Patreon. When you join Patreon as a member on any paid tier, you get access to all of the monthly bucket lists. So you have January through April now available for you to print out and use every month to both give yourself inspiration for what you can do that month, and also to then use these as stickers to document in your journal. So I'm really excited about all of the things that we might be doing in April. We have, of course, April showers bring May flowers. So we have some dancing in the rain or just taking a walk right after it rains. I love that fresh rain smell. We have read a collection of nature poetry, spending time out in the garden. I've definitely already been doing that throughout March, so I may even use that this month, or maybe I will save it. We'll see, because I'm definitely going to have more time in the garden in April. Visit a farmer's market is on this list. Organize or take part in an Easter egg hunt. Celebrating Earth Day in whatever way that looks like to you. Picking or buying fresh flowers for your home, updating the wardrobe for the new season, going birding and trying to actually identify the birds. We love going birding, so I'm definitely excited to use this one. And I thought this was a fun little addition to potentially take yourself out for some frozen yogurt and get extra toppings. So that is your challenge for April, is to try and check off as many of these as you can. And if you want to become a patron for completely free, I do share one illustration as a freebie every single month. So for April, this is the freebie that you can get by checking out the video post for this live stream over on my Patreon, and you'll be able to get this spend quality time with a loved one. No phones allowed. That's the challenge. Actually, spend time with someone you love without your phones. Leave them at home, leave them in the car, and just enjoy time together. That's your challenge for April. And your challenge for March, if you didn't yet complete it, was to take a photo walk around the neighborhood. Basically, walk around and bring your camera or your phone, which is what most of our cameras are now, and try and take photos of all the things that stand out as beautiful to you. So I did that when I was filming that vlog as well. So I have a few photos that I've printed out to document going on my walk and taking photos. I'd love to know how many of you completed this challenge in the comments. And of course, it's never too late, even though these are all kind of by month. Definitely know that you could always go back and complete one of the bucket list items from a previous month. As I said, I did that for February because I tried a new soup in March. So you can always kind of mix and match them with the months with your own calendar and what makes sense to you. Okay, I promise we're gonna journal really soon, but a few other quick things I wanna share with you. And the first is I'm so excited about. so very excited about this. And that is my newest sticker kit, which was just released this week. And that is the Ultimate Alphabet Set. Friends, this is truly the ultimate set. I'm so happy with how these turned out. And if you have been with me since last year, you will recognize the color palettes for these alphabets because they perfectly match the color palettes that we used last year for our monthly sticker kits. Last year, we created sticker kits together that were themed after each month. So you can see here I have January, and then the stickers like this pattern here, this little coat, what else? This journaling space, this snowflake, right? These are all stickers that were from the kit. So were these and that and this. And you can see the colors now match this sticker kit so that you can create your own titles and captions for things with those sticker kits. And of course you can use these on their own too. They don't have to be used with the kits, but it's nice when you are going ahead and printing out the kits that you can also print the accompanying letter set to be able to use alongside it. And these are just the 4 months that I've printed out so far. So I have January, February, March, and April in terms of the colors. And I really do think the color palettes that my patrons chose represent each month so well. They're just so perfectly aligned with the feel of that month. And I also wanted to show you that if these letters feel a little big, You also can print 2 out on 1 page, and then you get some nice smaller letters to use. So I'm so excited because I think letters are one of those things that you can never get enough of. You're always going to use them and have so much fun being able to just create your own titles. And the great thing about them being printables is that if you run out of A's, which there's a lot here, so it's going to take you a while, but if you do, you can just print the sheets again and you will always, always have enough letters. I did go ahead and print these out on sticker paper, so I use the Koala brand of plain white sticker paper. That's what I printed all of these ones on, and I have it linked in my Amazon storefront. So these are now available on the Abiding Hope tier and up, or you can purchase them individually in my digital shop. And then finally, the last thing to share is that I also have the collection from last month printed. So this was the March themed kit, and it is called Everyday Tasks, and definitely so many fun things on this list of just literally like grocery shopping, like washing the dishes, meal prepping, going on a daily walk, getting an exercise in, all of those everyday things that we all do, you now have stickers for. And of course, I also always create a prompt sheet and a faith add-on sheet for all of the themed kits as well. So you can go and print those out too if you are on the relevant tiers. But that's everything I wanted to share with you in terms of all the printables. I'll definitely be using a lot of these as we journal together, but let's go ahead and flip to our current page so that we can go ahead and get actually started. And let's see here. Okay, just looking at the chat. I'm so glad you guys are loving the alphabet printables. I'm so glad that you are enjoying them. And let's see. Belinda's enjoying some grapes. I don't have a snack with me, unfortunately, at this moment, but that sounds lovely. I do have just some plain old water for the day. And let's see, Leslie said she got 3 out of 10, but plans to do more in April, and that is totally okay. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but Songwriter's Corner is your YouTube name, said that her birthday is tomorrow on April 4th. So a very happy early birthday to you. I will definitely be journaling about birthday stuff myself because it was my birthday in March. And welcome, Gina, to the Abiding Joy tier. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. And because you're on the Abiding Joy tier, that means I will be putting together some happy mail for you. So I'm so excited to be able to send that to your door. If you're not familiar, I do have a tier. That is the Abiding Joy tier. It is the highest tier on the list of options over on Patreon. And with it, you get access to everything ever posted on my Patreon, which is a ridiculous ton, honestly. And then you also get happy mail from me when you first join, and then twice every year for as long as you are a member. And we also have some anniversaries. Happy anniversary to everyone who's celebrating as well. That's so great. And I actually printed out one of the freebies available on Patreon because even if you don't want to be on a paid member, just becoming a free member is a great way to get lots of freebie stickers too. Like I said, you get one from each of the monthly bucket lists, and then there's lots of others. And one of the other ones over there is this annual celebrations printable sticker collection. And this has anniversary and birthday stickers. There's also a like baby shower, new baby focused sheet. So definitely, if you haven't already printed this out, those of you who are celebrating, I recommend checking it out. I have mine here because I want to use my birthday freebie sticker because I enjoyed a nice iced lavender matcha from Starbucks for free for my birthday because it's my favorite Starbucks drink. I'm so glad they brought it back this spring. I was pretty nervous they weren't going to. And it was just in time for my birthday. So that was a nice birthday treat for myself. So it'll be interesting if I want to try and fit all of these on to document everything that happened, or maybe I will just kind of pick a few. I know I definitely, so we'll put on probably spring cleaning. I'm definitely going to use the spot the first signs of spring because on the photo walk, I did take some photos of my beautiful crocuses, which are one of my favorite flowers. I love crocuses. I wish they lasted longer than they do. I feel like they bloom and then they're just there for like a week and are already gone. But I love, love, love how they look. And I think I also love that they are just the sign of spring on its way. Oh, hi Bree. The baby shower collection is already out. It was shared as part of the annual celebrations collection. So I have it right in here, actually. I think I have it hiding back here. So it is this one here. It's called Welcome Baby. You can see I already used one. I'm in that phase of life where everybody is having baby showers, so it's definitely a useful little sheet for me too. And there's also this one that's part of the annual celebrations. I used quite a bit of these too. That was a set of numbers so that you can say how old you are or how many months. So you can go and print those out. And congratulations, yeah, on your daughter having a baby. All right, so that's, maybe we'll just start with that and try and get some stuff down on the page. So I wonder maybe one option for this corner, like I said, I was thinking about using washi, and actually, let me show you. I'll be talking about this in an upcoming video, but I have purchased this ring binder to store a bunch of my stickers, and I'm loving it. I'm just gonna get all the ring binders and just store everything this way. I love it so much. But what I did is, because I got all this new washi tape from the washi tape shop, as I said, so many beautiful washi tapes. I will be sharing them in an upcoming video, but they have the kind of washi that doesn't stick to itself, but it's backed. Basically, that's for the betterment of the washi, because it means that the images aren't going to get ruined by being attached to something else. Now this is going to bring up the edge, because this is actually a pre-cut washi, which is really cool. So that it's like actually individual stickers rather than you having to cut them out, as I'll talk about. But you can see it's like, unless you have it taped to itself, it'll just unravel. And they give you so much washi on one, like literally, I measured it, it's 3 feet of washi in this beautiful patterns before it repeats. I mean, it's so gorgeous. And every single one of these, like I said, is pre-cut. So you just peel it off and then it's a sticker. So I love it, but I think like when something is wrapped up like this as a roll, you don't really remember what's on it and you're maybe less likely to use it. So what I did is I actually cut out all of like how many stickers there were. So the 3 feet of non-repeating stickers, and then cut them into strips for each of these. So these are the washies that I have. And that way now they're just like sticker sheets instead of being as washi. So now I can just go in here and like pick out them more easily and identify, right, the ones that I want to use. Actually, I'm going to use this one because this looks a lot like my floating bookshelf that I made in that vlog this month. So that would be great to use. Uh-oh, this is coming up though. Oopsie. That's the only problem with this being pre-cut is sometimes the non-sticker part I find can get stuck and lifted up. Now it's not a big deal because all the stickers are still on there, but anyhow. Twins, oh goodness, sorry, if you're not paying attention to the chat, you're probably like, what is she talking about? But I just saw in the chat that Bree said she's her daughter is due with twins in June, so that's so exciting. Congratulations, Bree. Anyways, so this is how I'm storing all of these washies and am loving this system. So what I was thinking is that maybe I use, like this one would be really pretty, but this is too bloomed, I think, if that makes sense. Like there's so much, like this would actually be a better sticker for probably May or April for it to be that much happening. I see Bree said she can't hear anymore. Can you guys hear me? You say in the chat? Okay, Doris says she can still hear. Okay. Just want to make sure. I guess I could check mine too. Okay, it looks like mine is still working too. Okay, just wanted to check. So Bree, if somebody could say in the chat that Bree may need to just check her own. It might be something on hers. Anyway, this was one of the washies that I got, was all of these individual beautiful, so basically it was like this as a whole roll. So I just cut them all out and now it's much easier to look through them and pick out one that I might want to use. Like how beautiful will that be for like June? So pretty. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they're all a little too summery and not quite March feeling. I think they're a little bit too more like May, June, July. So, but I like the idea of using, like this could work, but the corner is facing the wrong way. Maybe I could use one of these. This is one that I have not yet cut out to stick in my folder. Ooh, like that could be pretty. Does that feel March-like? Or this one, that's pretty too. I think I like the purple one because it kind of will play off of the crocuses then too. The washi tape shop, at least for me, did not take long at all. I feel like it was less than a week to get to me in terms of shipping. So I'm gonna use this one with the like pretty purple flowers and kind of like this, kind of almost looks like a shadow in the background. But my thought was I could put something like this down in the corner And then I can put that sticker for the month over top of it. And that way I don't have the corner problem of it not being decorated. Yeah, their stickers are absolutely stunning. I was really, honestly, I feel like looking at their shop, I was like, oh, these look like they'll be pretty, but it can be hard to tell like what the quality is actually going to be like. And I was really blown away by how great the quality was. And I do have, they did send this washi to me, but it is 1000% my honest opinion. I would not be sharing them with you if it wasn't. But because of that, I do have a discount code, and I did already link that down below if you're interested in placing an order with them. And like I said, I'll have a video soon, hopefully, where I talk more about it and actually show you all of the rolls that I got and what's on them. And then also we'll be giving you tips for how to organize washi. All right, so now we have that. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put kind of my first signs of spring sticker, which I have my crocuses photo and then also a photo of snowdrops. These were just ones that I saw in the neighborhood. I really would like to get some snowdrops to add to my garden. I just love first sign of spring flowers. Bring me so much joy. I think that could be nice. And then let me cut out this photo walk. Because like I said, I took these on that walk when I checked off this item. I also, on that walk, did visit a little free library, which is the next illustration. Yes, I love snowdrops. So beautiful. I'd love to know, for all of you, wherever you live, what the first sign of spring is for you. Like, when do you feel like spring is finally coming that you see in your area? And when it is that you notice it. So March now is definitely the time of year when we see the first signs of spring. I feel like it used to be more like April, and that March was more winter still, but that definitely has shifted in the last few years. So let's see, we could put this. Yeah, Janie says crocuses too. That's definitely the same for me. So I'm glad I used crocuses as the image. And Susie said shamrocks and daffodils for March. We definitely have daffodils blooming all over the place right now too. So definitely like end of March was all the daffodils were coming out to play. Sneezing. Yeah, my allergies have definitely been giving me a little run for my money. North Carolina, you see daffodils already in February. That's funny. It's funny how those things can be, timelines can just be different depending on where you live. And then obviously, you know, if you're in the southern hemisphere, the seasons are completely opposite. Oops, sorry, I'm bouncing. Oh yeah, the amaryllis. I love amaryllis. They're so neat. I used to have one, but it has since passed away. So I'd have to get a new one. All right, let's finally glue something down, shall we? I'm liking the layered look, though, of this corner with the washi and the stickers and the photos all just overlapping that little bit. And see, Sarah says she needs flowers that the bunnies and deer won't eat. I don't have a deer problem because we're in more of a neighborhood, but the bunnies definitely, they don't seem to eat most of my flowers, but I will say I had lilies that I planted last spring and I was all excited, and the moment they started to bloom, they were just all nibbled down. It was like, it looked like they were corn on the cob. It was like just the cob, basically the stem of them left as a result. So we will not be planting any more lilies, that's for sure. Turns out that's just rabbit food. All right, and then this one. Maybe what I'll do is see what it looks like to have the little free library sticker there, and then this whole corner can basically be about the start of spring and going on that walk, having my fun day of getting all the spring stuff done. Let me know in the comments, are you all working on your April, or not April, what month are we in? Your March entries as well, or are you working on something else? Are you just kind of prepping for the month? I know we're April 3rd. The last few months, I feel that the first Thursday ended up being a little bit later. So maybe this one felt like it came up a bit quick and caught us by surprise. But as I always say, that's one of the great things about monthly journaling is it makes it so easy to catch up because you just have to document 1 month. So it doesn't really matter if you do it right on time per se. You can always do it at a slightly later date without feeling like you're getting super behind. Belinda's working on printing her photos. See, I don't know. I feel like this doesn't quite work being so close. Maybe if I did it like here, that would look okay. Maybe what I'll do is again try and layer it with another sticker from here maybe. Oh, I definitely want to use this one. Maybe I'll just put this, I don't know if you can see this like little bundle of tulips, but they look just like these tulips, which my coworkers actually gave me for my birthday. So that was a nice little surprise. We'll just maybe put them in that corner. And then I can put that with baking the loaf of Irish soda bread, which, by the way, I shared the recipe in that vlog video, and it was so good that I've already made 2 other loaves since making that one because it's so easy. It's literally just flour, baking soda, salt, and buttermilk. Yeah, that's it. And I do add like 2 tablespoons of sugar just because I personally think it helps it taste just that teeny bit better. Better. That was like a Freudian slip. Not bitter, it's sweet. Sarah, you're still finishing up 2024. That's totally okay. Like I said, it's even though you're 4 months behind, that's really just 4 spreads, right? So it's not actually that overwhelming when you put it in that context. And Janie is working on March. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put this down too. Try not to overthink things too much here. And maybe I will put maybe like the recipe. I'm trying to bring you a little bit closer so that I can focus on an area and you can see better. I thought somewhere I had like little kind of recipe things. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to find them. I feel like I have a vague idea of where I put them, but you know, if I was smart, I would have put them in my folder. Ooh, and I think I did. And I just dropped that roll of washi. So I do try and keep themed folders. And this one is my cooking and food folder. So just basically random stickers and things that have to do with food or cooking in some respect goes in here. And that way I can usually find stuff when I'm thinking, oh, what is that I want to use? And this is what I wanted. It's a recipe book that came, I think, as, oh yeah, this was part of a Daphne's diary. Oh, I know what this was. It was in my Daphne's diary advent calendar that I got not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before, which is a very fun thing. And the idea is to just use this, I think, as a little recipe book, but I wanted to keep it to potentially just rip out these pages and use them in my journaling when there's a recipe that I want to write down. So I'm going to try to kind of break the spine here so that I can more easily rip this out. There we go. Look at that. So it says dish and then ingredients, and then you can write it in. So I was thinking maybe I would use this. But you know what? I think what I might do is, I think I do want to use it, but what I'm going to do is maybe actually use it for my soup recipe, because I totally made that one up myself. And it turned out great. But the soda bread recipe is just one I found online and followed, and it worked great, except for adding like I said, the sugar was my own addition. But otherwise, it wasn't really one I invented. But the soup recipe, I did make up. And so if I don't write it down now, I'm not going to remember. Basically, for my birthday, my mother-in-law, who's my mother-in-love, because, I don't know, mother-in-law just, do you guys feel that way too? I feel like it sounds so cold. But my mother-in-law is one of my best friends, so I feel weird using it. So she's my mother-in-love, but she got me an immersion blender where you just put like the blender thing in your pot to blend up your soup and be able to have like a nice pureed soup. And so she got me that, and I used it for this recipe that I made, and it actually looked a lot like that, so it's perfect. And that soup, so basically what I did is I had potatoes that were ones that come in a bag and are already like pre-steamed and cooked. Oh, I guess I need to glue this down first. And then I also sauteed and then kind of boiled in chicken stock cabbage, which cabbage is, I might have talked about this before, I think it is the most underrated vegetable that ever existed. I love cabbage. Roast it, so good. In this soup, so good. And so basically it was a cabbage potato soup with cream added to it, so like half and half, and just some seasoning. I did saute an onion and some garlic, so that was in there too. And I added, because I had already an open jar of red curry, so I added a tablespoon of that in just for like a little bit of extra flavor and heat. And that made it, I think, added like a really good flavor. Oh, and I also had some celery and carrots that I just had in the freezer, kind of chopped up, ready to be thrown into a soup. So I just added some of those in as well. And yeah, basically just put that all in some chicken stock and boiled it, and then all you had to do was use your immersion blender to puree it into a nice creamy soup. So it turned out really, really good. So anyways, this is going to be a fun little thing here that I can put the soup that I made and then the ingredients, and I'll write a little bit about how to make it on here as well. I just feel like I got glue all over my hand. Okay, let's see what else. I guess we should put this picture of the Bailey's Irish cream and these adorable, again, my mother-in-law made these sweet, or what are they called? Shortbread, that's what I'm trying to say. Shortbread cookies, but she made them in the shape of shamrocks, which was super cute. She made us ones for Christmas, and we love her shortbread. And she has this great rolling pin for Christmas that puts like nativity scenes onto the cookies. So we had those at Christmas, and then she brought these shamrocks for St. Patty's Day. So I'm like, I'm loving this. Just bring me a different shaped shortbread for every holiday. Every time you come to visit, that would be fantastic. I want hearts for Valentine's Day. You can bring me some Easter egg shortbreads. That would be great. Bring it on. But yeah, shortbread is one of my all-time favorites. I just love a simple buttery cookie dipped in tea or coffee. So good. Let's see, I'm trying to organize the photos a little bit. These were all part of our St. Patty's Day. So I could put these together. Because for St. Patty's Day, I made acorn beef and cabbage. Again, lots of cabbage happening in March. Here's my soup. I can put that over here. Oh, and this is so funny. This is the soup, a picture of the soup. And look at my dog in the background. Her eyes are just like, can I have some, please? So, you know, that's perfect. And we'll definitely be right here documenting our soup. So maybe I'll put it up in the corner. I don't know. I guess we'll leave that space for something else. We'll put it here. Anyways, for St. Patty's Day, we had over Ben's family, and our niece came, and her parents, so Ben's brother and sister-in-law, sister-in-love, came. And this was actually, we've been in this house for, I think, at least 2 years, over 2 years now. And it was actually the first time, and they don't live that, it's like an hour away. So it was pretty sad that they had never come over to our house. And it wasn't their fault. Like, we also just, timing and stuff, just had never really invited them either. So it was nice to get to spend time together and have them over for a nice holiday meal all together. And my niece, for her birthday was a little earlier, and I hadn't gotten to give her her gift yet. And the book that I gave her is Road Trip Redemption. I actually talked about the books briefly in that vlog too, because my friend Becca is the author, and they're great middle grade stories for girls and boys, and have like a little bit of faith in them. It's definitely full-on faith, like Christian-based values, but not so overwhelming that you couldn't share it with maybe a kid who isn't growing up in the faith. They could still really love the story and not feel like they're being hit over the head with something, if that makes sense. But really the whole point of the books, and Becca's heart behind it, is just helping kids to know that God sees and loves them. And she tells it through these incredible stories of these kids and her characters. They're just so good. I highly recommend them. And yeah, I have them linked in that vlog if you want to go find the links and check them out. But it's called Road Trip Rescue is the first book, and would make a great like Easter basket gift for your kids if you do Easter gifts. Highly recommend. Anyways, the whole point of that conversation is that this photo is of her holding up her book because this is the third one in the series, and she was so excited and she loves it. And because I backed my friend, because she self-publishes these, and I backed her Kickstarter, I got to put my niece's name in the acknowledgments. So she loves flipping through the book and seeing that her name is written in it. It just like means so much to her. So that's really fun. Maybe, okay, let's go back over here. I feel like I'm flip-flopping a lot, but that's okay. I think I'm gonna put down the spring cleaning, maybe like here. And I want to use this little book stack from that washi tape here in the corner, not only because we visited the little free library, but also because this month I made a DIY bookshelf on the wall using hooks and these dish racks that you can get on Amazon. It's like a bamboo dish rack. You can watch the vlog to figure out how exactly I did it. But I really do like the look. I'm enjoying my bookshelf. I will say the one did fall down, but I realized that I should have put 2 hooks at the top instead of 1. So if you're trying to replicate it, just start out with 2 hooks on the wall instead of 1. And then it should work out fine. Okay, now let's glue. Oh, I did glue these down. I was talking and not paying attention. Okay, cool. So what else happened? These are the books that I read this month. So I've been a little slow in my reading so far this year. And that's okay because I haven't frankly been prioritizing it just because a lot's been happening. But I read The Faithful Spy by John Hendricks, which is all about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was a spy in World War II. He spied on the Germans, and then basically he was part of like the assassination attempts against Hitler. And he was a famous pastor. If you're not familiar with his story, super fascinating, great story, has written tons of other books. So I really, really enjoyed this. And this one is actually a graphic novel, which was really a unique and interesting way to experience learning about his life. And then The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, I listened to on audio. I gave that one 2.75. It wasn't, I just think it wasn't totally my cup of tea. And I found that it had too many characters going back and forth for me. And perhaps especially listening on audio, it was just difficult to follow. I didn't feel like the ending was very satisfying because it is a kind of mystery. It wasn't as suspenseful as I expected the mystery to be. So, and it's set in the Adirondacks, which is why I read it, because I love going to the Adirondacks. But the Adirondacks setting wasn't actually that big of a story. Like I feel like it could have been set in any wooded area in a camp, and it would have been the same exact story. So I thought that was going to play a bigger role than it did. So not to say that you wouldn't enjoy it if you tried it. A lot of people loved the book, but I personally did not love it. I'd love to know if any of you read any really great books this month, or if you watched any great shows or movies. This month, Ben and I finished watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You might remember I included that last month. You can see right here, the Fellowship of the Ring for our movie nights. I guess I should check this off. I didn't actually do the step of checking it off. But yeah, we did that snuggling up for a movie marathon. So I don't know if I'm going to necessarily, maybe I'll mention it like small and brief over here. I'm not going to do a big thing since I did a big thing on that entry. But the other movie that we watched was Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So there was a movie that came out recently from Angel Studios about Bonhoeffer too. So one of the reasons I wanted to read the book, I've had the book for a while on my bookshelf, but I finally made myself read it because I wanted to watch the movie. So it was great. Highly recommend. So those are kind of our, I think our bigger, like more notable watches for this month. Yes, we are big Lord of the Rings fans. We love, love, love. And I also finished reading the books. Did that happen this month? Or did that happen? No, I guess that wasn't this month. That was last month. Return of the King. I have it here. See, that's the nice thing about monthly journaling, is it helps you to remember when things happened. So yeah, I finished reading that last month. Super fun. Okay, let's see. What do we want to do next? I feel like I'm filling this up pretty quickly because of using all these big stickers. I do want to use the meet a friend for coffee or a cup of tea. This is so cute. But we started a new thing with my friends, some of my girlfriends who we used to all be in the same Bible study. Some of us are still in it, some of us aren't. But there are 4 of us who wanted to still get together in a regular basis. So we started getting together on Friday mornings for coffee before we all head to work. And it's just not every Friday morning, sorry, I should have said. The first Friday of each month. So once a month we get together for coffee on a Friday and hang out. And it's just been a really nice, sweet time of fellowship together. So I wanted to use this sticker for that. And I will say this month it was nice because we gathered in friends. One of the ladies hosted us at her house. So that was nice. I kind of want to put this up here because of the way the hands are cut off straight across the top. But I feel like it's too much happening. So maybe I'll just put it randomly down at the bottom. Mm-hmm. We'll put it like right here. I'm trying to kind of space out the bucket list items around the page so it doesn't feel all too much in one space. I feel like, so this is the March alphas. And somewhere, so I also have these. Okay. I need to make sure I can fit everything I want to do. So I had this little piece that I stuck in here. It's just like a random piece from a random Obujo, like one of these little paper sets. I think it was this one actually. But it said related to birthdays, so I was like, oh, I'll just like take that out and put it to the side because it'd be cute to use for my birthday in March. So I have that. And then the other thing I have is this playbill from Servant Stage, which is this basically theater group that is in my local area that goes around, I think mostly to like churches and that kind of thing, to put on musicals. And what's great is that it's all pay what you will. So anybody can go and be able to afford getting to see the performance because they just pay what they're willing to. And so by some people donating more than others, it allows those who can't afford it to be able to go. And they were doing Little Women, and it was my birthday weekend. So I went with Ben's mom, and we had such a lovely time because literally the performers who did this were, I just was blown away. They literally were Broadway level. Like I've seen multiple Broadway musicals. I've seen tons. I've just seen a lot of performances by really well-known theater groups, and they were on the same level, even though obviously it's a traveling group, so it's not like they had this incredible set design and everything, but acting and singing wise, they were absolutely up there with the best. I was just so impressed. But here was the sad part. So because I think the church where we happened to go to see them was a very, very small, like little local church, as opposed to probably some of the bigger ones that they go to, they only did Act 1 for whatever reason. And I was so sad because they were so good. I was like, I can't believe I'm not going to get to see them do Act 2. And I had actually never seen or heard the music from Little Women the Musical. So even though I know obviously how the story goes, because I've read the books and seen like every movie adaptation, I still wanted to see how the musical version went. And so we ended up going back to the house after, and we found a YouTube version of some other group doing it and watched Act 2 that way. So we were able to see Act 2, but they definitely weren't at the same caliber that this group was. So it was so good though. Little Women, the musical. And this is perfect because that's just the right size, I think, to include here in my journal. Have any of you seen the Little Women musical? Or like Little Women in general? I love Little Women. I just love the story so much, and the musical was so much fun. I just really, really enjoyed it. So that was part of my birthday weekend. Maybe we'll make this corner my birthday weekend. The other thing that we did for my birthday is we went to a Korean barbecue restaurant. That's like all I wanted for my birthday was to go to this new Korean barbecue and hot pot place that opened. So that's me and a bunch of my friends. We went to do that. So that was a nice time. Though, to be fair, the Korean barbecue and hot pot at the same time I thought was a little overwhelming. I think in the future we'll just pick one and just do one of those options. And then we also had my best friend's wedding shower, so I have that photo here. That was on my birthday weekend too, so it was nice because I ended up getting to see a bunch of my friends, even though it was not for my birthday, but it was for her wedding shower, but it was still a good time. So we'll have that. Okay. Do I like this layout? This is separate. This is just hanging out with friends for tea and tapas. We had a fun night of just the girls having tea and tapas together, so that was great. Women. And then my birthday freebie. I think somewhere I have. I feel like I have a matcha illustration. Did I use it last March? I think I did. No, I didn't, because that's different. Maybe it was. Oh yeah, there it is. Iced matcha. So I already used it last month, but I thought I had another one. Maybe it was. Oops. Can you hear everything falling down around me? Maybe like this. Oh, oats latte. That's what I'm thinking of. Not an actual matcha. But it is an oat milk latte, so maybe I'll use that. Iced lavender oat latte. Yeah. Let's do that for my birthday freebie. Trying to see if there's any others from that I'd want to use, but I think this is good. Well, that's great that you have a local theater subscription. I know there's a theater near us that does that too, where you can subscribe to their entire. I feel like if I was retired, I would love to be part of a subscription like that. I think I'd have a hard time finding time to go to all of the shows if I was to do it now. But I do love that idea. Definitely a big fan of theater performances. It like doesn't matter if it's just like your local high school putting it on or it's Broadway, like no matter what. If it's a musical, I'm here for it. I just enjoy it very much, live theater. Oh yeah, four shows a year, that's not too bad to keep up with. We'll do this birthday freebie. And I can put this here and this here. Yeah, you should definitely read the book, Sarah. I saw you just said that you bought Little Women but haven't read it yet. It's one of those books that goes through every season, so is a good one that you could read anytime. But personally, I think it's best to start it in like December leading up to Christmas because it opens with just a great Christmassy scene, and the winter scenes are my favorites from Little Women. So that's my, like, if I was to choose a season to read it in, that's what I would recommend. Okay, let's see, to write. Do a nice just highlight in the background. It's a great way just to add some visual interest, especially if you're new to hand lettering and not really sure what to do. One thing you can do is just pick a word to put a highlight wash behind. So you just put literally a wash behind where you're going to write the word, and then write it over top. Sorry, that was my scissors falling. And I'm going to do that with my Tombow Funanusuki brush pen. And are these the same? Yeah, I think these were the soft nib, and then this blue versus the black is the hard nib. I like the hard nib better. If you're looking for a Tombow Funanusuki, I think the hard nibs are the easiest to write with. And it's a great beginner hand lettering pen because it just gives you such a nice, like, look how crisp the line is. Ugh. I love, love, love this hand lettering pen. If I put these here, then in the middle here, I could do like a little birthday weekend recap, and then all of the things around it are pertaining then to my birthday weekend. All right, so then maybe I'll find like a little sticker or something to stick in there. We'll see. That I could use as a background to do my journaling on. I wanted to see if there's any of these that would make sense to use. I love that clean house feeling. What a great feeling. That's a feeling I pretty much experience mostly when we have people over, because if you're anything like me, when you're about to have people over is the impetus to make sure that the entire house is sparkling, and otherwise it is never sparkling. So yeah, that's a feeling that doesn't come around that much. I need to have more people over just so that I can have that feeling. This would be a fun sticker. I think it might have been more last month though. I guess, yeah, it's been a while now. I got a water softener shower head, like a filter to put on my shower head to help with the water hardness. So that would be a good sticker to use for that. You could use the workout sticker. I did start another Nourish Move Love workout challenge on YouTube. So that's been good. These definitely are really good. You can use them obviously for documenting these things, but also would be good for talking about the things after the fact, like tasks I am proud I completed from the prompts list would be actually a good thing maybe to put by the spring cleaning, because then I could put down like what I got done. And there are definitely some ones that make sense to put on that list. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut that out, and maybe the current read sticker. If you feel like you don't have a ton to talk about in a month, the prompt sheets are a great way to kind of get your juices flowing for other things that you could talk about that aren't necessarily something you did in the month if you didn't have a ton of events. So these, for example, a morning routine or your evening routine, just putting down this sticker and then using a journaling space to write what your typical morning routine is or what your typical evening routine is. A new season is a great time to document that because that might change seasonally. You also could like create a to-do list of these are all the things that I wanted to get done this month, and then you could check them off, the ones that you did. You could use one of the prompts, like one way I'll draw a little closer to Jesus. You can talk about that. So definitely check out all of the prompts available to you if you're feeling a little stuck about what to document in a month. It doesn't always have to be lists of activities. It can also be reflections. What I did with that. Oh, there it is. So maybe if I put that up here and then I can create my list. So I think one option would be to put the books over the current read and just use them as the current read. But these are books that I finished. So I think what I might actually do is put what I was currently reading really throughout this entire month. And that was All Things Wise and Wonderful by James Herriot. Oh, sorry, I just realized you can't see. So that is the third book in the All Creatures Great and Small collection of books, and I again loved it. Just like the most soothing books. If you need a bedside book just to like read a little story to yourself every night before going to bed, definitely check out James Herriot and his books. They are so heartwarming, just make you feel good for the most part, though there were a few sad ones in this last copy. But overall, they're just one of my favorites. He's definitely a favorite author for me, even though it's really all just like the same thing. It's just great little stories from his memoirs as a vet. Oh, I'm sorry, Dawn, you're having issues with your printer. That is one of the most frustrating things. I've definitely been there more than my fair share. I don't know if anybody shared when I had asked earlier if anybody read or watched anything, so definitely comment that, because I love getting recommendations from others, especially in this community, based on what you're loving, reading, and enjoying. I was debating whether I was going to use this photo, but I think I will. It's very tiny, so it's just like hard to see, and I don't even know if you can tell. But these are actually cookies. It's like 2 heart cookies, and one is like the bodice of a wedding dress, and the other one is a little tuxedo. And this is just one example of the most stunning cookies ever that were at this wedding shower. And what's so amazing is my friend's aunt made all of these cookies by hand and decorated them. And she's not like a professional, even though she should be, because these literally were better than any professional cookie I've ever seen. But yeah, just so incredible. So even though it's kind of hard to tell what it is, and who knows if in the future I'll even remember what it is, but I'll write a little note next to it so that I do remember. They were just too gorgeous not to earn a little spot in my journal. Susie watched Emma. Yeah, Jane Austen. Is that the new Emma? What, I forget what her name is. But yeah, that actress. She's in The Queen's Gambit too. Oh, I can't think of her name. But that was a really good one. I haven't read Emma. I've seen that movie, but I haven't read it, so I would really like to read Emma. It's on the list for sure. The Light Pirate. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. I did read The Lost Bookshop, and I thought that was good. I think I did. There's a lot of books with very similar titles, so I think I'm talking about the same one, but maybe I'm not. And okay, The Handmaid's Tale. I haven't been watching that. I saw like I think the first season, and it wasn't for me. And Alma is watching House of David. The new episode's out today. I want to watch that. That's definitely on our list to watch too. I've heard that it's pretty good. That they do, you know, obviously everybody has to take some creative licenses when adapting the Bible. But I've heard that it seems that they did a decent job with it. Ooh, that's fun. So you're reading the Thursday Murder Club with a book club. That's great. I've been debating for a long time, like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we had a book club as part of our community here? So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. I think if we were to do it, I would need to give myself like an every other month book club or something like that, or maybe like a quarterly book club. Like we have a fall, spring, winter, summer. Like there's always a book for each season that we read together. That way it's not so much pressure to like keep up with only what we're reading in the book club. You can read your own things too. Okay, some interest. Yeah, I know. I do love a good book club. So that would be really fun. All right, we'll have to think about that. Maybe yeah, like a quarterly book club. We'll have to think about what a good name. The Abiding Book Club. Yeah, I do find dystopian societies, especially like growing up as a teenager, I read so much dystopian. I also find that can be super fascinating to explore, right, in the setting of a book. All right. Let's So I guess we're what? We're in April now. So April, May. So June would probably be the start of a new season, at least in my book. In my book, ha ha ha. What pun? Um, but I consider, I think, June the start of a new season with summer. So maybe in June we could start a book club. And I'll have to think about a book that would be fun to read all together. So I want to get out some of my monthly kit stickers because I do have some. Oops, sorry. That I didn't use. Basically, I keep all of my sticker kits in here, and from last year, I have a bunch just kind of left over that I didn't use. So I wanted to bring those out and see if there's any. A lot of them are a little bit like Easter-ish related because Easter was in March last year. Like we have, let's see. Top 5. Ooh, this would be good. Renewed energy to tackle a DIY project. I could put next to my little books since I did that DIY bookcase. So excited to see everybody very excited about the idea of a book club. I have been wanting to talk about books more on my channel so much, just because it's just a big passion of mine. Some of you, if you've been here from the very, 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 very beginning, which probably not many of you have, but my channel was originally called The Scribbled Bookcase, and it started out as my attempt at a booktube channel, and then I just changed directions after stopping for a little bit and went into the world of journaling, which I love too, but I want to go back to my love of books, because that's just been the mainstay throughout my entire life. Books have just always been there. I've always been a part of my life, and I love talking books, and especially I think with this community we have so many similar interests. I think that would be a lot of fun. The problem is that I don't have enough time to make videos as frequently as I would like, so it's been difficult for me to balance like all of the topics that I want to cover, but I can only manage to get out like 2 to 3 videos a month just with everything going on in life on top of, a full-time job. That it's challenging when you're kind of limited to the number of things. It's like, do I want to put out a review of books that frankly will get less views because YouTube has decided that journaling is the only thing I can talk about in order for people to watch? Or, do I put out a new journaling update video? So definitely something I've been thinking a lot about. And I'm trying personally to get away from the mindset of what is going to please the algorithm, and instead what is going to please, frankly, me, because it's my channel. And I want to have the freedom to do what I want, but also that I think like my true viewers are going to enjoy. And that's you. Like everybody who's on here right now, I consider you like the true of the true abiding fam who shows up and wants to like hang out and hopefully watches like almost every video I put out because you just are interested in all the topics that also interest me. Thank you, Angela. That's sweet. Ooh, this Hello Spring. Super cute. And these little snowdrops. How perfect. Yeah, I've thought about that, Sarah, too. I'm like, well, I could make like a reading journal video and then YouTube will share it. I actually have been thinking that, I'm walking back a little bit from what I said maybe a little while ago of me being like, oh, I feel like I just want to have one journal that has all the things in one place rather than scattering things into multiple journals. But I'm actually realizing that as time goes by, if I have one journal, so like just a 2023 journal, for example, that I put some book reviews in, I put some recipes in, maybe I put like a travel experience in, and it's all mixed up in that one, I'm not necessarily going to remember what journal and like year of journal to go back to find that book I read or to find that recipe. And so I'm actually starting to walk that concept back, and I'm thinking maybe I do want to have a separate journal for recipes, a separate journal for reading, and then a separate travel journal as kind of like probably like 3 main journals that I just, that way, it'll take me forever probably to fill each of them, but at least then it's like one journal filled with all of the books that I've loved that I can like pass on to my kids and be like, you need to read these books. And same with like, here's all my travel experiences in one journal, and here's all of the recipes that I love and can refer back to. So I've actually been thinking that maybe I do want to start a reading journal. And I do have a journal that I got to do my travel journaling if ever I find the time to sit down and just dedicate to working on that, because I'm way behind. I still haven't documented last summer's, like our trip to Canada. And it's almost summer again, so, you know, time just gets away from you. And yeah, that's the thing too, like you said, Sarah, you haven't touched your reading journal since January, and sometimes if you have too many things, then it's just harder for you to pick them up and stick with it. So I'm still a little undecided, but it would be a good way to share with all of you kind of what I'm reading and give you updates that way. Kind of thinking maybe I want to put this here, but then I would need to like cut out because it's kind of big for that space. That's a very loud car. Goodness gracious, why are you so loud? Maybe this one would fit better. Okay. Yes, that is a very, very true, Gina. It does feel like life just moves at such a frenetic pace. I've tried to like really, like I've pretty much cut out most social media because I don't want to feel like I'm giving my time to consuming and scrolling. So if you've wondered, you know, I haven't been on Instagram for months now. I just made the decision really randomly one day. Like, I don't think I'm going to go on Instagram anymore. And I thought it would be like, you know, for 2 weeks or a month max. And I just, once I hadn't been on for like 2 weeks, it was like, just kind of felt like I wasn't missing out. And so I just haven't gone back. And at least right now, I don't have any desire to go back. Maybe that will change. I'm not saying never. But I think it's been good for me, at least for this season. And same with, you know, Facebook, I log into on very rare occasions. I never had TikTok and never will. Other than I created an account on there for my abiding journal just so that somebody else wouldn't. Because, you know, people can like pretend to be you on things. So I did do that, but I've never actually used it. And don't plan on it. So if I do this, maybe what I need to do is just cut out the border entirely so that it's not on one side but not the others. There we go. Yeah, that's a good point too, Dawn, about just simplifying the journals that you're using. Definitely not getting so in your head about waiting for everything to be perfect before you can sit down to journal, as we know that perfection is never going to come to fruition. So you just kind of got to work with what you've got in the moment. Yay, congrats on getting the printer to work. Okay, so I have this, it doesn't really quite look like a journaling space now, but the idea is that that would be a journaling space. And now I'm kind of like, is it a journaling space? Maybe, maybe I just leave that and I do the journaling down here. I don't know. let me find my stamps. So I can write my age with these. Good night, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. It was great hanging out with you, and we will hopefully see you next time. Oops, got a little bit of the side, but that's okay. Sometimes it makes it look more authentic. So there you have it, 31 this year. Officially in my 30s. So let's see, thinking if I write like, is this the pen I want? No. I think this box is really weird to shut. Okay. Where did my pen go? Here it is. So if I write happy birthday, and I'm kind of trying to write it like around the 31. Let's see if I can try and angle it for you so that you can see better. Okay, kind of doing it at a weird angle because of the camera, but I think that turned out okay. Oh, thank you, Gina. That's so kind of you to say. I'm so glad that you are excited about all that you get on Patreon. Definitely tons of years of content all in one place and immediately accessible. So I feel like it might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I really do feel like it's a good deal for everything that you get, just because it really is, you get access to everything right away. And it's literally just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stickers, as you see, and really is something, I think, for every single month and season of the year. And we're always creating new stuff every single month together too, so it's just so much fun. Okay, I like this little happy birthday. I think that turned out nice. So I think what I'm gonna do then is actually, here, we'll make a nice box for ourselves, because sometimes that can be helpful. And then that gives me a place to reflect on everything that went in to my little birthday weekend. And sometimes the reason I do these boxes, besides it helps you visually contain something, but it also is helpful as I'm continuing to lay out the page to kind of know, okay, this is a stopping point and I can put something else here, rather than kind of guessing, you know, where might I want to stop my lettering. It just helps me to visualize better uh, what the final entry is going to look like, if that makes sense. All right, so maybe let me just get these few extra photos down that I've printed out but haven't put down yet. And then it'll just be a matter of me going through and trying to fill everything up and journal about the things that happened. I'm realizing I didn't check this one off, so let's do that. Something so satisfying about checking something off as done. So I have roller skate picture here because we went indoor roller skating as like a little date night. There's a place near us, and Ben has been wanting to go for so long, and for me, I was just like, all right, like, you know, if you really want to, that's fine. We can go. And it was a little crazy inside because it was like a Saturday, so it was just like kids' birthday party central. But regardless, we did have a nice little time, and it was kind of fun to just have the experience of being like a kid again and, you know, going indoor roller skating like we did when we were younger. I definitely felt how long it had been. The first few times around the track, I was very unstable, but I got better as our time went on. But that was a fun little activity. I was gonna make rollerblading one of the items for April so that I could use the sticker for this month, but then I forgot. So, oh well. But maybe we will use that as one of the activities for May. That could be fun. Put this here because that was our we'll put this over here since this was also a birthday experience, going to the K-Pot Korean barbecue place. And then I'll put this photo of me and my girlfriends here next to the meet a friend for coffee or tea, because even though I was thinking about using this check off bucket list sticker for getting coffee, like I said, with my few Bible study friends, this was actually a tea and tapas night that my friend Emily hosted. So that also actually works for meeting friends for tea. And I think what I'll do is we'll do some more hand lettering to kind of mimic it on this side with tea and tapas. see. I'm not loving how this one's turning out as much, but that's okay. Thinking do some block print, and then we'll add our little stars and the sparkles. Always pull it together. It just magically looks right after you add some sparkles. And look at that, doesn't it? It's amazing. I swear, a few sparkles and it's like the fix to anything that looks a little off. So we have our tea and tapas night, and then I think the only thing I have to put down is the babble. I don't know where to put this though. It's just such a random little thing, but I did start, I already know a decent amount of Spanish, but I started Babbel to just refresh and add quite a bit more because I'm by no means fluent. I would say I'm proficient. I can get by in a foreign Spanish-speaking country. So I've been doing Babbel to kind of get myself back into a better rhythm and flow because I have hopefully 2 trips coming up this summer to Spanish-speaking countries. The one that is definitely happening is I'm actually, this is my fun fact, for those of you who stayed till the very end, I'm actually going back to the Galapagos. And hopefully this time I'm going to be able to fully enjoy it. It's like my redemption trip, because if you have been with me for a little while, then you will know that my first experience in the Galapagos was very atypical because it was in March 2020. And yes, it was when the world shut down. So I was stranded in the Galapagos Islands when the world shut down. That's my fun fact about my life. If somebody needs a fun fact for like a get to know people, that's a good one for me. So anyways, I got like 1 day of actually enjoying the Galapagos, and then the rest of our time there was trying to flee and get out of the Galapagos. So this is my opportunity to go back with my friend Emily, and we're actually taking students. So we went with Emily and her husband not last year, not last summer, but the summer before to Ecuador. Some of you might have seen some of my spreads from that. I don't think I've actually done a flip through yet though of that travel journal, so I need to share that with you. So that would be fun to do actually before I go to the Galapagos, to share my travel journal flip through for Ecuador. But we took 30 Spanish students in high school for that trip, and it was such an incredible time. Absolutely loved it. And so now she's taking just 9 students, so it'll be a little bit more manageable, and I'm going with her to the Galapagos. So I'm really looking forward to that, and that is why I am working on getting my Spanish back in order. All right, so let me just look at the chat here. I see some of you have already taken off. And Udon, you're gonna try and draw a magnolia tree. That will be beautiful. I love magnolias. They're so gorgeous. And Alma is working on her sprocket and getting that up and running. So fun to get some photos printed. But I think that's gonna be it for this evening. We have hit our 2-hour mark, and perhaps not as much done as we typically do, just because I did a lot of talking at the beginning, and I felt like a little, I don't know, just out of my element tonight in the creativity zone, but hopefully it didn't show too much. And we did get things on the page, so that is definitely what matters the most, that things are done and documented, and we'll fill in the gaps. And of course, as always, I will share with you over on Patreon the finished spread. So if you're not already, go become a free member over on Patreon, or you can join one of the paid tiers to get access to all of the stickers I shared with you this evening. And thank you all. I will look forward to seeing you in the next one too, and in upcoming videos, as I said. Your support means so much to me. Thank you to all of my patrons. Thank you to everyone who spends time watching my videos. You mean the absolute world to me. And it's just so lovely to spend this evening together. So I hope that you got a lot done too. Do go ahead and share them in our Patreon chat group. If you go over there, there's a community tab where we have chat rooms, and there is one for the monthly journaling club where you can share your entries. And I love, love seeing what you all created. So definitely share them afterward in our chat. And until next time, friends, keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life abiding in faith, hope, and love.